Trading sounds like a nice, peaceful profession, right? An easy, low-risk way of making guaranteed credits. But you'd be wrong. If you want to make a go at cargo runs, minimising the risk to your cargo, your credits, and your sanity, then this one's for you. Look, on the face of it, cargo runs should be really simple. Fly somewhere, fill your hold with cargo, then take that cargo and sell it for a profit. So far, so easy. Unfortunately, it's not always that simple. The trick is choosing the right cargo for the right locations and following a few tips that I have coming up. First off is understanding how cargo works. Every ship that can carry cargo has its cargo space expressed in SCU, Standard Cargo Unit. 1 SCU is equal to 100 units of a commodity, so if your ship is listed as having 8 SCU, it can carry 800 units. Trading itself is pretty simple. Find a trading console for wherever you are, select your ship from the drop-down list on the left, and then find the commodity you want to buy and sell from the list, and then move the slider till you have as much as you want or you can't take any more. That will happen because you either run out of cargo space on your ship or you've just run out of credits, but I'd probably recommend putting a limit on how much you spend on cargo, at least initially. More on that a bit later. Then just fly to where you're going, land your ship, get to the admin office or the trade hub if you're in a major landing zone, find the trading consoles there, and then just do exactly the same in reverse. Access the hub, select your ship from the drop down list on the left. It'll display a list of every bit of cargo you've got on board that is able to be sold at this location. Click it, move the slider for how much you want to sell, and you've just made money. Congrats. That's trading in a nutshell, but of course it's Star Citizen, not everything is that simple. So which commodity should you aim for? Here's a list of the top earning commodities. This is the profit when you sell each unit of commodity. So 1 SCU of Laranite, for example, sold will net you 600 credits of profit because it's 100 times the 6 credits you get for each unit. So what's the difference between the stuff on the left and the stuff on the right, other than the massive profit margins of the stuff on the left? You've probably guessed it already from some of the names. The stuff on the left is illegal. It's all narcotics. Illegal goods are more than just simple rule breaking in Star Citizen. I mean, sure, if you have a hold full of this stuff, the security forces stop and scan you, you'll end up with a hefty fine, about 10,000 credits, that will turn into crime stat if you don't pay it off or get rid of it by other means. But even filling a hold can be problematic. The drug labs don't produce lots at one time, and it can take a couple minutes for it to refill even a little amount of stock, so it can take you a considerable amount of time to fill a big hold from empty. You can have the same problem selling. There's only so much demand for only so much money for drugs, which will leave you long waits at trading terminals trying to sell the stuff off. And it may be tempting just to grab the biggest hauler you can, fill up with drugs, and net yourself a massive payday. But these locations that sell narcotics don't have armistice zones. You can get shot down arriving or leaving. Your ship can be blown up with a hold full of that cargo right outside. You can even be shot on foot when you're walking to or from the trading console. There's nothing to stop anyone pulling out their gun and just shooting you in the face. I mean, come on, did you really expect that level of profit without some risk? And no, if your ship explodes or your ship is stolen, your insurance claim won't cover the cargo at all. All those credits will be lost. Add to that, unsurprisingly, drugs labs don't just list their location for anyone to find. You're going to have to find them manually. They're not on the star map at all, which means kind of identifying where they are from orbit, flying down and getting that location bang on. And that's your first big choice with cargo running. Do you go big risk, big reward with narcotics, or do you go less risk, less profit, but less chance of exploding and dying a horrible death? Let me know down in the comments which one you think you're going to do. Of course, legitimate goods are the opposite. You can find them easily on a map. Most of them are protected by an armistice zone, so you're not going to get shot at. And it doesn't matter if someone scans you because what you've got in your hold isn't illegal. It's entirely up to you which one you go with. And of course, there's nothing wrong with being legitimate most of the time and then doing the odd dabble with narcotics when you think you can take the risk. The best bit of advice I can give you is this. Never fill your hold with cargo that costs more than you're willing to lose. On top of the risks we've talked about, there are the disconnects, the 30k errors, and the bloody no-fly zones at Area 18 and Lawville that take any excuse to blow you the hell up. Always leave yourself with enough credits to start again. It's not the end of the world if you lose everything in terms of the game, but trust me, you'll feel pretty crappy about it. Now, there are websites out there that you can use to find out where to buy and sell all of these commodities. You can find trade routes for the area that you're in, check out shops to see what's bought and sold to save you the quantum fuel. The one I found most useful is SC Trade Tools, and that is linked down in the description below. I know that kind of sounds like a paid for plug, but it's not, honestly. This stuff is so useful because it means that you don't have to go and find all this stuff out for yourself. And even if all you're doing is go to A to B, you want to go to Microtech to pick up some friends or whatever, it can show you from where you are to where you're going, cargo you can pick up on the way just to make a few credits. And whilst that's the basics, here are some tips to really help you get your cargo running off the ground. If you do happen to disconnect with a hold full of cargo, try to reconnect through the main menu. On the right hand side, it may give you the option to reconnect previous session. If that works, then it will hopefully take you back to your ship. There's no guarantee it will, but it's always worth a shot. Every so often you'll encounter a bug with a trading console, where you're not able to select your ship, or any ship, as a location to store or sell cargo from the drop down list on the left hand side. If this happens, the only fix I'm aware of is to switch servers. If you're at a main landing zone or a space station, great, just log out and you'll come back in and whatever's in your ship will still be there. If you're at an outpost though, try logging out in the bed in your ship. It'll save you having to take your ship somewhere it can be stored, which saves you a whole bunch of time, effort and fuel. You can also consider combining your cargo runs with delivery runs if the destinations work together. It can make you some nice extra cash, especially if you're cargo running in something with a smaller hold than some of the big ships. Sometimes you'll land at outposts with a whole bunch of different buildings. Rather than running to each building, there's an easy way to find out which one has the trading console in it, and it's this thing here, this little obelisk with the orange light on top. Every trading outpost, the trade building will have that or something very similar in maybe a different art style to that outside. Look for those orange lights. If you see one of those with blue lights on the top, it's a vehicle retrieval location, so you can get ground vehicles out. And for the best help that I can give you is about finding some of these hidden trading posts. Now, the trade run that you're watching on the screen at the moment is actually my trade one in the ArtCorp area from a place called Shady Glens Farm. It's distilled spirits, so it's not illegal, and it's a big profit margin for what you're paying. Now, Shady Glens Farm is not listed on the map. You can't find it, you need to find it manually. But within the personal section of your contracts, if you're in ArtCorp, you might find a mission called Supply Re-Up. And one of the first things it asks you to do is to go to Shady Glens Farm and pick up some raw material that will eventually be turned into drugs. What I do when I'm running cargo for a few hours is I pick this mission up, but I don't complete it. So that marker will always stay on Shady Glens Farm, and although I can't quantum directly there, I can get to the nearest orbital marker and then fly directly down onto the moon, land there and pick up what I need. That marker stays as a handy reference, which is great because one of the things I found about trying to find locations that are hidden, it works great in the daytime when you can see the surface of the planet and the landmarks you need to navigate. At night, not so much. So that marker will give you a spot on location to go and fly down to. Just don't pick up the stuff, the marker will stay there for as long as you need it. Now, that contract has equivalents in most, if not all, of the other areas within Stanton. And what's nice is it's more than one hidden location. So for this one, it takes you to Shady Glens Farm, up to Paradise Cove, and then the orphanage, all of which are hidden locations. So if you need a location that's a little later on, just take the mission that far. Remember to get rid of the stuff out of your ship so that it doesn't get scanned, although let's face it, you're going to have a hold full of illicit goods anyway, because that's what you're trying to find. I really enjoy trading, especially with the inventory system now, where you're able to take food and drink with you, and I find it really immersive, quite enjoyable, have some music on in the background, or have some friends with you flying escort missions if you're doing some of the slightly harder stuff, the narcotics and whatnot. But I actually quite enjoy it. It's quite immersive, for peaceful when you don't want to die horribly in a blazing fireball. That's it for this guide video. Remember, if you found this helpful, please do smack that like button, it does help. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.